Spencer Lee, thank you so much for joining us on our second PhocusWire Pulse event this week. You are the CEO of BIGLife, which for those that don't know is the operator of AirAsia's Big Rewards program. The reason why we wanted to talk to you first at our event today was very simple. It's that this particular initiative and project that you manage is perhaps a great example of quite how far loyalty can be taken within a travel brand, whether it's an airline or a hotel. And you've just done some very interesting things. So we thought it would be useful for those that are watching the entire event today after our interview to kind of get a sense of what you've done and how you've done it. So again, thank you so much for joining us, Spencer. So first of all, could you just talk us through briefly what the strategy was to build this particular loyalty program and where it is now, and then we can kind of go on from there.
Cool. First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's really an honor for us to participate in a great event like this. This is really the new norm. Who would imagine that we can do an event, now through Zoom. Well, thanks for the question again. And basically for us at Big Reward, formerly known as Big Loyalty, we are truly in the digital space. We started our business 9 years out of the 10 years, really focused in providing the best loyalty program for the AirAsia group of airlines. At year 10, we noticed that there's a huge opportunity with all the data that we have within the group to actually pivot the business to really give an amazing reward program for all of our members within the group and beyond the group. So we decided to turn a loyalty program, a traditional loyalty program, into a reward program that is really, truly a comprehensive lifestyle program. This is also in line with the strategy by our leadership team to actually pivot the whole AirAsia business to be beyond flight as well, i.e. the AirAsia super app. So with this, we are able to then provide more and more value to our members, because today, with Big Reward, with the points that you get from the reward, you can earn not only from the AirAsia ecosystem, whether it's flight, AirAsia food, fresh, or any F&B, right? That is within our so-called merchant list, our partner list. You can earn points with them, and you can also use your point, for any redemption. So we enrich our members' life. So this is where we believe that with our data, we are able to give more to our member.
I'm interested, Spencer, if you can tell us the idea to implement this program and the evolution of it right at the beginning. Was this something that you felt was coming from your own ideas, or was this something that was being asked of by your own passengers and customers? It's almost like a chicken and eggs kind of question. What came first? Was it their idea or your idea?
To be honest with you, both. First of all, we have a great leadership team, from our shareholders, AirAsia Group, and of course, EMEA. And with the leadership like Tony, Tato Dane, and Irene, we always have the empowerment to see where's the best to deliver more value from our business. After 9 years of being a truly focused loyalty program for the airline, we have enough data point to tell us that what is the next level of growth. From the data, we can see that a lot of our members, they want a lot of things to support their so-called lifestyle. So by providing a comprehensive lifestyle program, it's a very natural growth for us, right? Because from our data, we know that, hey, this particular person, besides flights, what else do they buy? We know that they buy hotel. We know that after they book a hotel, we know what food do they buy, what they are more intended for the next purchase. So with all this data, we are able to come up with a strategy that it's time for us to really open up this product from a closed loop to open loop, whereby we can connect the best of AirAsia Group and the best of the non-AirAsia Group into a single program. Hence why we renamed the program from Big Loyalty Program to Big Rewards, to best demonstrate that today we are a really 360 comprehensive loyalty program for all, because we know our member, right? We know their insight. We know their transactional history. So with all this, we are able to enrich the whole program. in the end of the day, it's about being relevant to the business.
Yeah.
And we need to continue to be relevant, not just because of all these cliche words, or COVID, you have to pivot your business, you have to survive. But we are really doing this because we need to go for growth. What's the next level of engagement? What's the best program that you can put out in the market to stay relevant? So all these things is where we put everything together, and here we are. Big Loyalty program became Big Rewards, a fully comprehensive lifestyle program that gives you the best program within AirAsia Group and beyond flights. Now you have everything. And the points as a single currency that give you the best lifestyle program anywhere within our ecosystem, especially in ASEAN markets.
Now, I'm interested, Spencer, if you can talk us through this a little bit. Traveling isn't an everyday purchase. So it may be something that only happens once, twice, 3 or 4 times a year if you're a lucky leisure traveler. But, it's not something, often don't take a trip as often as perhaps you buy a book or a CD or something like that. So how do you manage the expectations of a rewards program on something that's a fairly, or can be a fairly infrequent purchase?
Well, simple. In nowadays, it's about knowing what your consumer want. That's why we say that we have a lot of data and we maximize the data to the max. With data, we are able to know that each individual level, where do they spend? Where do they so-called spend their so-called day-to-day life? What coffee, what brand to that level? Then we are able to target them. I just give you a very simple example. AirAsia Food recently launched in Singapore after a highly successful launch in Malaysia. We close to zero marketing. We're able to create a big buzz in Singapore, and for a very so-called new market for us. Why? Because we have a big base of active members in Singapore that's hungry for more value from us. Because we really stand for value, right? If you look at the entire AirAsia history, it's all about value, right?
Yep.
When we first started the airline, it's all about not everyone can fly, right? Who would have imagined that, you can go for your holiday or your business trip close to free, right? Sometimes you run free seats and it's very affordable. It's all about value. So the same philosophy, we use it for our non-flight business. Food is no-brainer, but with data, we know how to target you, right? Because we are able to do personalized message. So we cut across all the noise in the market. We're able to give you an offer directly to you, and we give you the best value based on your habit, based on all your transactional history that we have on you. Because within the program, we are just not with flights. We have the transactional data of where do you spend with your AirAsia credit card, for example. And within the group, we also have a fintech called BigPay. And a lot of partners buy points from us as well, our big points, because it is really like a digital currency, so to speak, whereby you can use your point in any of our partners around ASEAN, which we are really our key focus area. So with all this, plus the setup that we have done, the back end of machine learning, we're able to churn out more and more campaigns that's targeted. And because of that, more and more partners are willing to come on board and work with us. So it's no different from whether you're selling a flight per se, or you're selling food, or even you're selling fresh food, fresh seafood. Guess what? Today, we are even selling fresh seafood online, right? So there's no different. The philosophy is about knowing your customer and provide value. This is what we always focus at.
I'm interested because there'll be many, many people that are watching this event today that clearly don't have the scale in terms of customers that AirAsia has, or perhaps even indeed the ability to collect as much data as AirAsia has. Do you think a program such as yours is only possible because of the scale of a business, or can it be applied to other types of organizations in travel that are much, much smaller than you are?
Well, thanks for the question again. I guess it's never about size to start off with. When we first started, right, let's say 19 years ago, and for the reward business, we are just 10 years old. You have to start from somewhere, right? And it's always about getting your baseline right, your expectation right. And it's always about partnership and collaboration. Today, for us, we are still very much into collaboration because you can't be in a market alone. And you should not be worried about, oh, I'm too small to start, or there's too many giants, competitor out there. There's never the best time. Trust us. We know this. So it's about having a clear focus on what you want. Be honest with yourself. Be honest to your member. At least for us, we are here for our members because we are here to give the best value to our members. And we are able to do this from ground zero, so to speak, right? When we first started, no one gave AirAsia a chance, so to speak. Long haul, short haul, low cost is not something sexy. No, this is 19 years ago. But look at us, how we built because of our determination, because of putting a program that what people want, and with data, touch point, we're able to then fine tune a bit where works and where don't. I think the biggest issue is not about when is the best time to start. Based on our experience, is a lot of people are worried to fail. Let's be very honest, you're not going to be able to succeed in every single campaign or any single business. The big reward that you see today have done many, many rounds of changes. In fact, we have changed our name close to 4 or 5 times.
Right. Okay.
But we are not worried. We are not concerned because we know that in order to succeed, you need to try.
Okay.
With data, you can try and should not be afraid to fail.
Okay. In that vein, then, maybe there haven't been failures along the way, but what has been the biggest kind of obstacle that you've had to overcome through the development of this program as to where it is now?
Well, to be honest, I would think time and people. No, you see, it's easy to come up with business plan. You can do amazing PowerPoints, your vision, and etc. In the end of the day, it's really about 2 things. Do we have the right talent, people? We build our business based on people. Our leadership team always believe that you need to have the right people and you need to put people in the right place. So you could have the best people in the world, but are you putting them in the right place to give them the best empowerment to do the job? Next is time. Today, because of the entire digitalization due to COVID and lockdown, etc., whatever form of names you call it, the digitalization, for the last 1 year is the fastest growth of if you put the entire 10 years put together. So time is always going to be something that, we at the group always put a lot of focus at. Because no point you design a product and you say that, oh no, I can't launch it until it's perfect. No such thing. I'll be very, very honest. Have a clear direction, always do POC, test. Always roll out the product, test it out, even if it's a beta stage. You know what? Because it's only when you go to the market, it's only when you engage with your customer, you're able to collect more data from within all your touch points to give you the best understanding of, hey, are we on the right track? Whatever product that is born out from meeting rooms, box room, is only as good as your presentation. Yeah. The real test is out on the market. So test it out. If you succeed, success builds success. If you fail, go back and come back again.
Okay. It sounds very simple, but as we know, it often isn't.
Trust me.
I'm curious, you said, Spencer, about people, getting the right people. And I wonder, is there some kind of cultural shift required between a culture within an airline organization to essentially becoming almost like an e-commerce brand, which Big Rewards is? Yeah. How does that kind of manifest itself in the way that you behave as a company? Do you have to think differently?
Yes, mindset change. I think mindset is the biggest, obstacle, roadblock. Our leadership team give very clear direction. At the management level, people like us, we also have to make sure that we're able to deliver and explain what are we going to do, what changes that need to be in place. You see, out of the 19 years of the entire group history from the airline per se, we are only known as airline.
Yeah.
We give the best value. We fly to the most amazing places in ASEAN, in Asia, and North Asia. So how do we pivot this to AirAsia super app that today you can get even the best seafood, the best fresh food or food on earth. You can even buy, you can even shop, you know, literally everything on it. And from a loyalty program that is 100% focusing on airline and now pivot to a comprehensive lifestyle. You definitely need to change our mindset because you cannot keep saying BAU, business as usual.
Yeah.
You have to change your mindset. You have to make sure that your team are aware of it and what's the changes that you need to make in order to pivot the business. There's something that I always tell my team. We have to be comfortable to make uncomfortable decisions. Yeah. And the entire 2020, we have made a lot of uncomfortable decisions, which is necessary for us to change. And trust me, it's never easy to change a business model during a pandemic. And we did it. It's tough, but we did it, and we are quite blessed in the sense that we closed our 2020 with so-called positive in terms of from an EBITDA basis. Yeah.
I'm interested in that point, Spencer. I mean, with very few people flying last year, and perhaps an airline being not at the front of people's mind, how were people using the service during 2020 when they weren't actually flying? Or I'm curious as to what happened.
Spot on. It's tough, you know. I still can remember. In fact, we celebrated. I think that today is the first year of MCO, like lockdown in Malaysia and the most part of ASEAN. But we don't just sit down and say that, die, you know, end of the world, people not flying, borders closed. But all of us come in as a team, from the leadership level to everyone in our team, together as a single unit. We have a very clear idea, what can we do? So what do we have? We have amazing traffic, we have an amazing brand, and we have amazing personality in our business. You know, Tony, Dane, and Irene, our names of themselves. So how can we utilize all this? Then we look at e-commerce. In many ways, we are already an e-commerce company, right? From a travel perspective. We have flights. We have been selling flights for 19 over years. We have hotels. We have activities. What's next? It's your day-to-day, as you just mentioned as well. Very quickly, we put in the business AirAsia Food, AirAsia Fresh, AirAsia Shop. Yeah. And then what is stopping us to even do AirAsia Dating, right, so to speak. And all this is powered by the Big Rewards program, whereby you can earn points from every single transaction for your day-to-day in your life that you want. And if you want to do more, you can use your point to redeem each of the services that I just mentioned to complement your lifestyle.
Okay.
Plus the fact that now you can have more products that you can ability to give you more points beyond AirAsia Group. So this is what we have done to expand and to scale the business.
Okay, two very quick final points if we can, Spencer. What kind of differences in patterns of behavior do you see between your leisure travelers and your travelers that are flying for business? Is there any inherent differences, or is it fairly the same with the types of things that they're using their reward points for?
No, and that is value, right? Consumer, I think sometimes you have to look at the very simple lens. Don't overcomplicate it. In nowadays, it's about value. We truly believe that you have a very simple program, you have very simple marketing messages. Mm-hmm. Just go out and provide value. Sometimes we overcomplicate it with super duper PhD driven program that is so complicated, right? You have marketing communication that is so complex that I think you need to be a professor, as I mentioned, PhD to understand. Keep things simple, be honest, engage, and in the end of the day, it's all about value.
Okay, and finally, I mean, how does this all kind of develop from here? Do you sense over the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 years? I mean, it sounds like it's an incredibly comprehensive program. You know, it feeds into so many other things and connections with other retailers, and we talk about super apps and stuff like that. How do you sense that it will develop?
I think we have just started. Huge opportunity, big appetite from all of us to grow even more, and I think we are just the beginning of the journey.
But just when you, sorry to interrupt, Spencer, when you say to grow more, is that by means of more things that you can spend your rewards on, or is there something more fundamental that it can grow?
We have a big appetite to have our big reward points, big points, to be de facto e-currency for the entire ASEAN market through big exchange.
Right.
It means that we are building a platform whereby all the non-big points from your other loyalty program can come into big exchange and be converted to big points.
Okay. Some big ideas, to use a pun there, from Spencer Lee from BIGLife. Thank you so much for joining us on this PhocusWire Pulse. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's our honor. Take care.